I want to finish this with just a few quick examples of some properties that we purchased. This was an owner-occupier purchase that we did. I'll just move my head again. It just seems to get bigger and bigger, doesn't it? I'll make it small. We purchased this owner-occupier purchase for a client only recently, within 10 kilometres of Sydney CBD. We were looking for 2-bedroom units up to $750,000, proximity to transport, infrastructure, with a good layout and functionality. Now, this property we purchased was built in 2012. It's a 2-bedroom unit on the 3rd level. There was no air conditioning noise on the balcony, which was really important to our client. They wanted it to be nice and quiet. It's a 12-minute walk to the train station, 4-minute walk to the River Golf Club, the Rowers Club. So lots of good amenities there. Close by an Aldi and a Woolworths, multiple restaurants. So we're really happy with this purchase. There's 84 property units in the complex. So 2 entrances as well, lower ground secure car park. The strata fees were only about $1,080 per quarter, so really attractive there for the seller to hold. The seller wanted... for the buyer, to hold. The seller wanted $760,000, but we knew what the value of the property was, so we successfully negotiated $25,000 off that that asking price to $735. But we were not finished. Upon actually reviewing the building and pest inspection and the strata report, we were able to reduce the offer again by an additional $10,000. And we also placed some conditions in the contract that some minor repairs were actually undertaken by the vendor prior to settlement. So we, remember, just giving you an example, we charged the client 2% for our success fee to do this work for the clients. That was $15,200. However, we saved the client an additional, as I said, $10,000 after we already shaved off more than $25,000 for the clients. That's $35,000 in savings for that client, and we were able to purchase this property for them within less than a month. So really, really happy on that. The rental estimate for this apartment is $850 per week, which actually gives the client a really impressive 6.09% rental yield on this property. Now, the suburb that we purchased in is experiencing limited apartment stock for sale, and most 2-bedroom apartments are actually going for $760 into the early 800s. So to get this at the price that we got it at, we were really, really happy with this outcome. Don't worry about the numbers. We'll go into that in one of my other videos here. Classic growth strategy here for this next example. Buying in a premium location with large land component in a suburb with above average 20-year capital growth. We purchased this 322 house on a large 807 square meter block for $960,000. Beautifully renovated, open plan living area, perfect for entertaining, modern kitchen, generous dining area that opens onto a large outdoor patio for entertaining, which is great. Clients are receiving $750 per week, which is the equivalent of about 4%. Now remember, we didn't buy this property for income, we purchased this property for growth. However, we did look at Brisbane for the client because rental yields are on average 16% higher in Brisbane than across the combined capitals, which makes it a little bit easier for our clients to service the loan for the long term, because this is a buy and hold strategy. Property was 12 k's from Brisbane CBD, just minutes away from local shops, schools, public transport, easy access to major highways and the city, and also the airport. The investment was easy to rent, and will definitely be low maintenance for our clients and has huge development potential in the future. The long-term capital growth rate for this suburb is 8.92%. So although past performance is not an indicator of future performance, we are confident that this property should be worth around $2.1 million in the next 10 years, okay? And that increases our clients' wealth by more than $100,000 per year for them holding on to this asset. Now, this is one of my superstars. This is Brian. He's one of my buyer's agents in WA. He's a handsome, very well put together individual. And this is Brian after he secures an amazing deal for our fantastic clients. And let me tell you a little bit about one of those deals. So I'm using the Google Map image to show you this house because we bought this property before the photographers had a chance to take any photos. So this was an off-market deal, no competitors, okay, for us in regards to this purchase. We got this property at $389,000. Now, our appraisal was between 380 to 410. And we believe that if we had been in competition with other buyers or other buyers' agents, this property would have easily gone into the low fours. Now, interestingly, I actually read an article recently, and the data suggests that off-market home sales usually result in lower prices. So economists at REA Group-owned company Property Track found that advertised properties achieve about 4.3% higher price points than off-market properties. And these numbers were also confirmed by Ray White's chief economist. And Ray White estimates that selling a property at auction instead of private treaty can also add as much as 10% to the sale price. But apparently, sellers don't know this. So let's just keep this between you and I. It'll be our little secret for a little while. Anyway, back to the property. This property has had the same owner all of its life. And they've really treasured and taken care of it. It's in wonderful condition. The elderly owner is in a position where they didn't want to take it to market, have strangers coming into their home, for open homes. So we love a win-win. This really worked out well for the seller as well in regards to just protecting their privacy and not disturbing them on a daily or weekly basis. It's walking distance to a major shopping hub, public transport, public and private schools. This purchase was brought to us by an agent that we've been in touch with for quite some time, and he does a lot of off-market properties in the area. So really glad to get a win with this agent as well. Rental figures are great. $450 per week gives us a really attractive 6% rental yield. Annual capital growth in this area is a healthy 4.7% per annum. Now remember, we didn't buy this property for the growth side of things. This property was income. We sought out this property type because our client would like the option to place a second dwelling at the rear and supercharge their income. So this is actually the second property that this client has purchased from us in only 2 months. And their first acquisition was a growth property, which offered average rental yields, whereas this purchase is focusing on income. And the plan being that in the next 10 years or so, this client will sell the growth property that we purchased for them a couple months ago, okay? They'll sell this property in 10 years' time. They'll pay off this high rental yield property. Hopefully they would have done their second dwelling by then. And that will provide a supplementary income for them that will pay that client over $70,000 per year. That is, in a nutshell, how you make money. I hear about all these different strategies all the time. This is it. Growth and income. Combine the two. One is not better than the other, because you'll hit your borrowing max ceiling quickly. You need both. You need to diversify. So this client is absolutely wrapped with the strategy because we've seen the outcomes before and it works well. Remember,